anticipate that the price over the next several years is going to come down just because we are increasing the number of breeding cows in this country. We started that January 1 of this year, so we ended up having really peak prices in 2014, and what I've told you ladies and gentlemen in here is that we will expect lower prices over the next several years. Now, last 30 days, 40 days, there's actually been even an accelerated downward in prices, and part of that is some battling, you might say, that's going on between the packers and the feed yards. Some of these feed yards, because of the unwillingness to send some cattle through and to replace those with really expensive feeder cattle, some of the feed yards have been holding those cattle a little longer. And what's happened to our slaughter weights is they've been really increasing big time. Packers just saying, you know, enough is enough. We can't handle these really big cattle like that, because not only are they too big physically, but when you start talking about the amount of fat, the yield grade 4s and yield grade 5s, packers are just saying, you know, we just can't handle those cattle, and we don't want them now because you just got them so fat. So they've really started discounting weights and yield grade 4s and 5s a lot heavier than what they traditionally do. So all of a sudden you've got a slot of cattle there that need to be moved, but the packer really don't necessarily want them, and if he does take them, they're going to be a pretty significantly discounted price. But the feedlot, you know, doesn't have a whole lot of choice, because at some point you just can't get them any bigger. So ultimately what happens, there's been about a month and a half of those big cattle that have to be worked through. From what I've been kind of hearing, we've probably got another week or two of some really big cattle that we need to work through. After that, hopefully what we'll see is, traditionally we see this time of year cattle prices trying to work a little higher through the end of the year. But this last 30 days is kind of counter-cyclical movement on the prices. If we get those cattle worked through in the next couple of weeks, then hopefully we'll see some type of upturn between now and the end of the year.